Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back again after a short period. We'll be seeing a medium level component as you can see on the screen and how to make this model using CATIA as our CAD tool. In this, we have three different views given to us. The first thing we do is we study the drawing. So this is a third angle projection which has a front view, a top view, and to understand better, he has also mentioned a detail view. Now, the section is actually cut at this location, so we can see what are the internal features going on. And we can also see the top view to understand the additional features which are added onto the existing body. So to begin with making the model, let's try to start by taking the shape, the main shape of the body, and then slowly work on achieving the actual complete component. Now to get the main shape, you can do it both ways. You can actually make it in one attempt, or you can do the spear first and then the shaft later. But making it together actually is an easier option. To do so, we are working on part modeling. So under start, we do have mechanical design and your part design. At the part design, to make these type of features, we can use a shaft command. So let's get into the shaft and try to create the sketch of how much degrees we'd like. It's 78 as you can see the dia. So let's try to give 78 first from the center. This is supposed to be diameter 78. I'll change this to dia and give it a 78. And I'll take the axis to just to understand, it's going to rotate with respect to this axis, and it also has a angled shaft which is pretty much like this. Now the angled shaft has dimensions towards the end as well as the corner of the shaft. So towards the body it is supposed to be 43, so we take that as 43. It's actually shown in the drawing as you can see. And the other one is 36, which is this one. You can give this as 36 as well. Now let's try to trim this. It's a small one. We do require to give the length etc. for everything. So from the center, we know that this end is still 105. So I'm taking this as 105. Now, when I exit, it's a closed sketch, so it tries to create a shaft in this manner. This is the actual shape as you can see over here. Now, continuing, there is a cylinder which is over here, which is a 56 dia. Instead of directly making the shape, I'd like to make 56 first and then remove the material one after the other. It's a little more easier if you do so. But we do know the end dimensions. We don't know the distance from here. So we'll take references of those ends and maintain the dimensions and work on making the model. So we can use references using our points. We do know that the distance from the end to end is 91. So we better take that first. These two are my references. Now I can directly take a plane parallel to the point. This is my reference. It should be parallel with, I'm sorry, this is the reference. It should be parallel with, and this is the point. On this, I'd like to make the 56 dia sketch. I'm trying to take a circle with the center again. Give it as 56 dia. This should be added up to the immediate next body it can find. So I can directly use pad to add the material and say it can add up to the next, so it can create the proper addition of material. Later you can start removing this, but first let us finish the addition of material and then going to the removal of material part. We do have this shape also which is supposed to be added on the top. So I require a plane here too. I can mirror the plane or I can again take a plane. It's easier to take a new plane. On this, I'd like to make the sketch. The shape is this manner. Now, We do know that the overall end is 76 and the inner diameter is 52. So let me try to take the inner diameter first and say it's supposed to be 52. And we have overall dimensions towards the end and mirror it onto this side. Similarly, I do have one over here and I'd like to mirror it onto the other side. Now let me try to maintain symmetry and then add the lines and then create the shape as per how we want. So now since they are together, we do know the distances. They're 76 and 76. So let me try to give those a 76 first. And then similarly maintain symmetry here. And then give the end-to-end distances 76. Again, we do know that 76 is already mentioned here. Now we can directly join these to the circle and then start adding the material and remove the unnecessary ones a little later. So we can take these two and then mirror it onto the other side. Similarly, we do have these. Now, we do know that the distance between these two is 18 as well. So let's try to take that as 18. And let's try to get the shape by trimming whatever is not necessary to us by using the quick trim. Now, this material actually should be added till the next or till the center. Of course, it's supposed to be added till the center because it goes till here. So when I'm adding the material, I'd like to say up to plane and then select the center. So it maintains tangency on all the four sides. As you can see, it maintains tangency on all the four sides. Now, let's start working on removing a material. We do have a cut over here. So I can use the group command to remove the cuts because it is done with respect to the axis. And I do have my references and the ends of the cylinders where I can use to cut the material. I'd like to take the ends of the cylinders too. Now, let me try to make a sketch of what I'm trying to remove from the corner. You can see it looks somewhat like this. The height is actually 16 and the overall dia is 35. So I'll just give that as 35. Once I exit, it tries to remove the material and you can see how it removes it. After this cut, I do have another cut here which is actually in line with the 56 there and it's removing through the existing sphere. So I can directly use the pocket command to do so and just directly select the pocket and the front view and start removing the material. The material is actually removed from 13 from the top. So I'd be using this as my reference so I don't remove anything else. And then this is the last reference I have. Now the area I want to remove is actually this. So the distance from the top is 18. Actually it's 13 and the distance from the center is 28. So from the center to the end is 28. It should be in line with that. So once I exit, it tries to remove the material. We can remove it up to last. There's only one problem is you have to remove it on both the sides. So you can use direction 2 to remove it on both the sides and see how it looks like. I think I missed the end reference. Okay, this was the end reference. This was not the reference. This was the reference. No, 2. Let me try to take a reference and then try to maintain tendency. So I should maintain tendency with this. I thought that was the last reference and it cuts the material. This is the actual cut. Now we do have further amount of materials which are removed from the inner side, as you can see. So let's try to remove one after the other. The first one is this internal cut, as you can see. So I'd like to make a sketch first to remove that and then slowly start getting into the model. This is the first reference which I have. And of course I have the axis because I require the axis. This is my axis. Actually I can use this axis reference. Now, while making the shape actually goes this way first and then has a 32 arc over there. So first let me try to dimension constrain this. This is 52 and then slowly get to the internal cuts. This is 52 and the internal cut is 44. So again I do have a 44 here. Now from there I do have an arc which is 32. As you can see there is an arc over here which is 32. So I do have an arc of 32. I do have another arc on this side as well which actually starts from in line with this and then goes down this way, and you can see it is supposed to be 32 as well. So let's try to take this as 32 and then put it a little closer and shorter. It has to be in line with that, so I'm trying to make it a little shape so I can dimension it in a while. And then there's a straight line which is actually 22 from here. We do know the dimensions, so I'll do it one after the other. The length, as in this diameter, is supposed to be 22. These two should be in line with each other, or this should be a straight line. This is a horizontal line. Now, to make these kind of cuts, obviously we have 15 towards the end again. To make these kind of cuts, it is necessary that you make the sketch first. It is easier to do so rather than working on inside the command. We can later make changes if we need or necessary if it is necessary. Okay. Now that they're all in line with each other, we can make them in line with each other by using a concentric axis and then try to make it this way. We do know that this is 32 and the centers are pretty much in this location. So I'd like to give it that way only. So let's try to constrain it by keeping it exactly at the center. Same thing with this too. You can speed this part. Let's try to close the sketch and then try to remove the material. Actually should be closed from here, which is 52. Once I exit, we use this to remove the material, so I'll be using shaft to remove the material onto the inner side of the board. Now from here there's another hole which goes from here which is 15, so you can directly use a hole command because we don't need to make any slant or internal shaped cuts. So here we can directly maintain concentricity and give the dimension. So it directly cuts up to the next surface till where we want, and then it tries to create the hole. So if you want to see the section view at the moment, you can actually see the section view. If you're even using the front view, it's easily understandable that the cut is this way. Now, continuing with the model, there is a small addition on the top of this. So let's try to make that addition using a shaft command only because it's a slanted cut. We don't know the angle, we do know the overall end dimensions for it. So this is the reference I'd like to use, and of course the cylinder, the center reference. So I'll be using the axis at the center. And we do know that the overall dimension is 52. So I'd let's try to take it this way and then close the profile in one go, and then I will constrain the sketch. Now constraining actually goes pretty much the same way. We do know that this is 52 already, so we can give this as 52, and the top one, as you can see, is 48. So let's try to give this one as 48 as well. And the overall height of the body is 4, which is shown here, so we can give the height of the body is 4 as well. Once you exit, it tries to add the material. As you can see, this is the added material on the top. For this, actually there is a hole which is 34, which goes up to next. So let's try to give that hole on this and give it 34, and try to maintain the concentricity, because if we edit the model, the whole body should auto update itself. When I say up to next, it actually cuts up to next, as you can see, and you can say okay, this is your internal cut. Similarly, there is a cut at the bottom as well. So let me try to cut this shape and then give the 21 cut, or you can give the 21 cut and then cut the shape. Nothing's wrong. So we can directly take 21 on this, maintain concentricity, and then try to give the dimension. Say preview, it cuts up to the next, as you can see. Now we do have another small cut over here, which is a 4 and 24 diameter. So for that also you can pretty much use a hole, or you can use a shaft command, or you can use the hole command. So I'm saying 24, but the depth is actually not up to next, it is only up to 4, as you can see. And we need to maintain the dimension no matter what. You can actually give a counterbore hole if you can, and then see that you can cut it till 24. There are a few other holes over here as well as on the top. So let's try to take the holes which are at this location and then work on the locations which are at the top. So I do have a hole command over here on this body. So I'm just saying the position. The position actually should be at the center. I'm just taking a slanted view so I can show it to you. This should be exactly at the center. And the location should be at 8 from the bottom. That is, I have a bottom. This is the bottom. From here, it should be at a distance of 8. Now, when I exit, you can see the feature being formed there, but the diameter is actually 2 into 6. This is 6 and with a depth of 6 mm only. So, I'll just give it a 6. Now, you can do the same thing on the other side too, where the hole is supposed to be given on this side. And we do know the positioning. Let me try to take a 3D view for the positioning. It's the same thing. You need to maintain 8 from here. And of course, it has to be located exactly at the center, because where we cut is the center location. And we do know it is 6 and 6, so I'm taking it as 6 and 6. These are the bottom 2 holes which are shown in your detail view. There are other ones which are located at this location also, which is actually a counter bore hole. So I'm just trying to place the location first, go to my sketch, and again it has to be at the center. So this is the center. And the distance is supposed to be given, which is 35 from this corner. It's already given in the drawing, which is here. And exit. Now, since it's a counterbore hole, you have to select what type of hole you're working on. Countersunk hole, and depth and details, and the diameter details, which is 6. It has to be up to next. As you can see, the model cuts this way. But the depth of this is uncertain, so I'm just taking 1 or 2. You can see it this way. It cuts through the body like that. Now we do have 4 holes on the top, again, which are at 64, 64. So I'd like to make a sketch first and then try to maintain the dimensions, which is easier. We can use pattern. So when I select this, I can mirror it onto the opposite side. Similarly, when I select this, we can mirror it onto the opposite side. So the distances from here to here are 64. Similarly, since it's typical, the distance from here to here is 64 as well. Now we do know the dimension, which is dia 6, so I'm just taking the hole, directly selecting the point and the face. Here we are not giving a normal hole, we are giving a simple hole, and we are giving it up to next, so you can see it cuts through the body. Okay, we are not giving it up to next, we are giving it only till the center. Let me go back to the hole. It's only till here, so let's try to give it only till the center and not up to the next. Till this plane it is supposed to be cut. Now we can directly use a pattern, which is user pattern, to create a pattern of this, which is the object, and select the positions and say OK. It will automatically try to drill the holes on 4 different locations. This is your model of how do you make this. Last but not the least are the holes. We can give them now, rounds. I'm so sorry, we can give them now as well. So we do have R6 here, which tries to take the radii, and we do have R4 on these corners. So you can give them as well. I'm saying R4, and then you can select the edges, whichever needed the rounds, and then let it go. You can either see the preview or you can directly say OK. If there's any error, it will show in the preview, not an issue. So once you say OK, it will show it this. This is how you make a medium level component understanding two different views, which is your section view as well as your detail view. You do have a top view, which is like this. And I would like to show you the section view once, so you can see the section view as well from the front. This is your section. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. We'll be posting more tutorials from easy to expert level in the channel. Thank you.